Hello and welcome to the MAMIL product review of this Nordictrack S10i indoor exercise bike. I'm just going to take you through the bike a little bit and just so you understand the different component parts before I get on and show you how this whole thing works. So this particular model is the S10i, so as the name implies, it's got a 10-inch screen. And there are actually three models in this range. There's the S10i with the 10-inch screen. You've got the 15i, which has got actually a 14-inch screen, weirdly enough. And then the S22i, which has got a 22-inch screen. Obviously, the bigger the screen, the more you're going to pay. In the UK, this S10i is around £1,500 and the S22i is around £2,200. Although obviously pricing in the US and stuff like that is all different. But the basic principle is the same. The bigger the screen, the more you pay. This is the smallest screen in the range, the S10i, as I said. And honestly, I find that it's absolutely big enough to have a really immersive experience with. If you think about it, you're actually quite close to the screen anyway when you're sitting on the bike. And I mean, obviously people love the S22i in terms of the big screen, but I don't find the 10-inch screen an issue at all. And in fact, I've done over 4,000 kilometers on this bike, and I still enjoy the experience, have a very immersive experience. There is an HDMI port on the screen, which allows you to actually have an external monitor if you wanted to. So if you wanted to have a huge big TV, then it's quite possible to hook it up and get that kind of experience. I did try it once, and actually the issue was that I found the screen got in the way of the TV in the background, so it was hard to then see the TV. So I had to raise the TV up higher, but that wasn't a very natural eye line for me when I was cycling. So in fact, what I did is I kind of felt that actually there was no need for it. And as I said, I'm enjoying the immersive experience even with this smaller screen. Unlike other exercise bikes, this particular model or this range also has a built-in fan, which is fantastic, which can be controlled here in terms of your speed, and that has three different speed levels and an automatic speed, where the fan will basically, depending on how hard you're working, i.e. how much power you're putting through the pedals, will dictate how hard the fan is running, which is great. I can't ride without the fan. It's really it's a fantastic addition to the bike, and often overlooked, but actually a really intrinsic part. You've got the flywheel as you'd expect, and the forks here, and these forks, as you can see, with these little arrows. I've got a few of my medals on here, but you can see these arrows, and this is for the incline and decline feature of this bike, which I'll go on to in a bit. But basically, you can the trainer can actually change the incline and decline of the bike based on the workout you're doing, or you can train to the terrain, which is where the bike basically will pitch depending on what the terrain is that you're riding, the route that you're riding. For me, the incline and decline is one of the most unique features of this bike, and gives a really immersive experience. It really feels like you're climbing or or descending when you're on the bike. Cranks. The bike comes with standard sort of toe clip pedals, but you can swap them out very easily for your choice of pedals. In my case, I've gone for SPDSL, which is the same cleats that I used for road cycling. So as you can see, I've got my road cycling shoes. Now, one thing to note is if you're into studio workouts, that if there's floor work to do, then these are not the most conducive to that. Personally, I'm a big fan of the bike stroke floor workouts, so it doesn't bother me too much. But it is a thing to note. If you want to do some floor work, but you want to have clip-ins, I'd probably recommend something like the SPD mountain bike style pedals that you can get. The other nice thing is that Nordictrack have got no problem with you putting whatever pedals you want on here. So unlike Peloton or another brand, they're not going to invalidate your warranty because you're putting on a pair of pedals, a set of pedals. And the other thing to note is that they work in exactly the same way as you would on a road bike. So that one of them is reverse thread. So basically, on both sides of the bike, you always tighten towards the front of the bike and loosen towards the back of the bike. And then at the back of the bike here, you've got this this box, and this is actually the motor that drives the incline and the decline feature. So that's the thing that's powering the bike going up and down, depending on your the terrain or the workout that you're doing. In terms of the saddle, the bike comes with a saddle. A lot of people on forums decide to change that out. In fact, there's two kind of trains of thought here. One is to change it out for a big, wide, soft, padded gel seat, which is what a lot of people do. But actually, what I prefer to do is I put the same saddle on that I was riding on my CX bike. It's a saddle that I'm used to, and I've got a good position, and I've got a good comfort factor with this particular saddle. So I put on one of those. So again, it'll support any kind of road saddle that you want on here. Crucially, I think the more important thing for me personally is to wear padded shorts when you're on an indoor bike. I think, you know, irrespective of the saddle, that's where you're going to get the most gain in terms of comfort. You've got the saddle height adjuster here, so you can loosen this and change the saddle. As you can see, I've got my wife's sticker here, so I know where to lower it to if she wants to go on the bike. And it's just tightened and loosened using this particular knob here. And then you've obviously got the flywheel, and then you've got the brake on the bike here. I think in more modern versions this brake doesn't exist anymore. I'm not sure, but very simply just press it down and twist it to the right, and that locks the flywheel. So it completely locks the cranks up and everything else. Loosen it, and then you've got movement now on the actual the wheel, as it were, the flywheel. Space for bottle holders. Thank you to my bike insurance company Lacquer for providing my bidons for this, and a couple of weights that come, and these are used for the kind of the mixed floor and bike workouts. Again, I don't really use these very much, but they do just sit there, and if I want to use them, I can do, obviously. A couple of extra controls you can see. You've got incline and decline, so you can always manually override whatever's going on in a particular program. So if you prefer to, you can incline or decline your pitch on the bike. So if you want to feel like you're climbing more, you can increase the incline, or if you want to lower it because it's too hard, or you just want to ease things off a bit, you can reduce that as well. And then you've also got the resistance on the flywheel, which is done by magnetic resistance. You can see here, silent magnetic resistance, SMR. So that's what controls the resistance on the bike, and that's what the trainers control when they are doing a workout with you. So again, this is all kind of worked out by the iFit program, which is the program that runs on the console that controls the bike. And they will control the resistance, and they'll control the pitch and elevation according to the program or the workout or the ride that you're doing. But obviously you can always override those. So if things are getting too tough for you, you can just loosen the resistance off, or if you want to make things a little bit harder, you can increase that resistance, no problem as well, by just pressing the plus key. So yeah, that's the bike. It's pretty stable. I've got a slight wobble, but I'm on a carpet here. I do have this exercise, this sort of foam mat that this bike sits on. I would absolutely recommend you get one of those as well. No, you will sweat a lot on this bike, irrespective of this fan. And well, I don't think it's particularly hygienic on most floors, but with a carpet especially, you would, yeah, things would get pretty grim after a while. So this particular mat is an Icon one. I got it with the bike as part of a bundle deal. Definitely recommend you getting something like this though to protect your floor. Right, I'm just going to jump on, and we can go through the interface on the screen. So I've done this on previously. If I just tap it to wake it up, as you can see, it's asking me now who's using iFit today. So this particular bike came with a family account, so you can have up to 5 people registered with their own individual profiles, and obviously it allows you to keep track of your challenges and what have you. So I'll just select mine, and then you're presented with basically the dashboard. So I've got my weekly stats, so I can see I've done just over 2 hours of riding this week. I've done just under 60k. I've burnt 1200 calories, and my average watt power was about 125 watts. I do a fair amount of recovery riding on this particular bike. And then I've got kind of recommendations, but you can scroll along for these sort of recommendations, or you can hit the browse button. This is generally what I do, and what it'll do is it'll bring up a bunch of challenges, the current challenges or highlighted rides, anything like that. So at the moment, I wanted to find a workout by a rider called George Hincapie, who was actually a rider for Lance Armstrong during the Tour de France for many years, and I think he was a pro for about 15 or maybe nearly 20 years or something. Pretty sort of influential and legendary pro rider. So I can see here this is the series that I'm looking for. So it's got 6 workouts, and it's a climbing series. So it'd be a good example to show you the incline and decline of this particular bike. And it shows me that I've completed 3 of the 6 rides. So I'm going to go for the next ride, which is, so we're in Maui, I think, for this particular ride. And it's 25 minutes long, I can see, and we're expected to ride about 7 kilometers. And it's pretty high intensity. If I click on that, what will happen now is it'll just give some more information about the workout. And then what I can do is I can hit start workout, and that's it. It's just loading the workout. Now I'll get a disclaimer warning me about the dangers of overexertion and stuff like that, but I can accept that, no problem. And it's now loading that workout. At this point, I can feel all of the resistance is gone. So I went down to the lowest resistance, and this is just a sort of a warm-up phase. And you can run this warm-up for the full 3 minutes, or I can end the warm-up early and go straight into the ride, which I'm going to do now. Another thing to note, by the way, is let me just turn this down. You've got some volume buttons on the side, so you can. In fact, I'm going to turn the music off completely. So you've got full control of the music and the trainer's voice, and also the master volume. So you can mix that to whatever extent you want. The music is served by Feed FM. So it's basically a sort of loop of about, I don't know, half a dozen songs, which I think are changed out on a weekly basis. It's not the greatest music in the world. I'd much rather they had something like Spotify there or something that I could use, but it is what it is, I guess. The other thing to note is I'm wearing a Bluetooth heart monitor on my chest, and that will be presenting the data to the console. You can also wear a wrist heart rate monitor like an Apple Watch, and there is an app on the App Store which lets you transmit your heart rate via Bluetooth, and that will then get picked up by the machine automatically. I would recommend doing definitely the machine to get your heart rate, because I think it gives a much better indication of your calorie burn and your effort than if you don't have it. I personally, as I said, I'm using a chest rate heart monitor because that's what I do for all of my rides. I'm just going to start my own personal. I've got a Garmin as well, so I'm just going to start that off as well, because I like to just keep track of things in Garmin. So what we'll do now is we'll just end this warm up, and as you can see now the resistance has gone to 7, and you then get a little map showing you what you're going to ride, and you get an intro now from George Hincapie.
Welcome back.
On the right hand side you can see the leaderboard, and this leaderboard basically tells me where I am. Some people hate the leaderboard, some people like the leaderboard. I think what you'll find is that on recovery rides there are some people who decide that they're going to completely try and smash it, and you can end up quite low down on the leaderboard, but if the ride's not about going hugely fast, then it's slightly sort of, I don't know, it can be counterintuitive using leaderboard, so use it to whatever extent you want. Now, what you may have noticed as well is we've just started this ride. I've now gone to an 8% incline because we're climbing. This is a climbing series, and you've seen the bike is pitched up, and we're now at 8%. And then I've got my cadence, how long we've gone, and you can tap on these to get different readings, how long's left, the distance I've gone, distance left, my cadence, my average cadence, my speed, my average speed. Now it hasn't picked up my Bluetooth monitor. It could be that my heart rate monitor battery's going is on the way out, so it hasn't picked that up. But normally it would pick up my Bluetooth heart rate here. I'm getting a bit out of breath now. I'm going to turn the fan on. If I just press the minus button, it goes into automatically into auto mode, and you can hear the fans come on, and that's now blowing nicely. So I'm just going to ride for a little bit, and then hopefully the pitch will change and we'll be able to demonstrate the bike going up and down. I'm going to swipe the leaderboard away, and you can see now there's a guy obviously filming this, so that's the sort of view you get, and it's quite immersive. You get beautiful scenery, you get good sort of commentary from the iFit trainers. There we are, you can see the bike's now pitched up to 10%. We've just pitched up a little bit more. It's getting a little bit harder. I can see my watts has increased. So I'm just pedaling out now. Fast forward 2012, when I retired, and I was able to have that sort of stature on teams where I was the go-to guy for tactics, figure out race plans. As you can hear, the bike is pretty silent in operation, which is fantastic. Don't wake up the rest of the house. Right, so that's the end of that workout. At the end of each workout you get a cool down period, and obviously you can stop that when you like, and then in fact I'll show you in a second. I'm just going to take a second to cool down. But that was the